Hi there, it's Kimmy from Scrap Therapy. All right, so I am just on the move with this stamp. So I have this beautiful stamp by Penny Black. It's called On the Lake. I did a card at Christmas using this gorgeous stamp and this technique that I've learned from Heather Telford just on some tutorials that I've seen online of stuff that she's done. And I just love this look. And so I wanted to take the stamp and do something for summer and spring and kind of just show off some different ways to do it. So I've done a tutorial on this card here. It's called Penny Black on the Lake. So if you want to, you can check out that video and see that tutorial. And I just wanted to show that winter card. And so I'm going to use the same stamp one more time in this tutorial, and it's going to have a totally different look again. So I'm going to pull out my Mini Misti, and I have my On the Lake stamp, and I've got my card already pre-cut. So what I've done is this time for my card base, I've taken my 8.5 by 11 piece of cardstock, and this time I've cut it at 4 1/4 inches. So I've cut it lengthwise at 4 1/4, and then I fold the top, and I get two top fold cards that are the same A2 size, but they're just a top fold. Okay, so I'm going to end up doing two, but I'll kind of work on one as we go here. So now I've got my piece of white cardstock in behind. I've cut the cardstock so that it is the same size as my card front. So it's 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 is this piece of cardstock. All right, I'm going to place it into my Misti. I'm going to line it up at the bottom, and I'm going to just use this edge here, like this first line on the grid, as my guide. I'm going to put a little magnet up top. And the reason I'm not tucking it into the corner is that this stamp, just the way it works, it's got a little bit of an edge, and so I can't get it right to the edge and do the paper the way I want to do it. So, anyway, so I'm going to do it like this. And actually, I'm not going to use the magnet because I'm going to place the stamp so that the stamp is just coming off the top of my card. Okay, so I've got it centered on there. All right, so it's sitting just like so. Okay, so now I'm going to close the Misti. The stamp is going to pick up onto the hinged arm of the Misti. My cardstock is going to move. That's okay. I'm going to put it right back flush along the bottom, and then just right there on that first grid line, okay? So actually, because my stamp is so far up at the top, I'm gonna put that magnet at the bottom because it'll clear it, okay? So for this one, I'm gonna take black VersaFine ink, black ink pad. This is a slow drying craft ink because I'm going to heat emboss with clear powder. So load that up. Make sure I've got really good, nice, sharp coverage. It's going to be good and crisp. Okay, bring it over. Stamp that down. Give it a good firm push all the way around in the middle. And then lift. Oh, that's gorgeous. Okay, so I did a great job of stamping first time. Looks great. So I'm going to take it. I'm going to set aside my Misti, and I'm going to pull out my embossing powder and put some powder on here. This is just clear embossing powder. Oops. Make sure I get all the spots. Okay, great. Set that aside, close my ink pad, and I'm going to heat emboss. Oh, that looks just stunning. All right. Okay, so just make sure I've got no powder all over. All right, so that's going to sit on top of my card just like that. All right. So now I'm going to use a bunch of Distress inks. Oops, and I just about... There we go. Just about mixed up my paddles here. Don't do that. All right. Okay. So what I've done is I've taken a 1 3/8 inch circle punch and I've popped out just a white circle just out of some leftover cardstock. Okay. It can be any kind of scrap that you've got. I'm going to take and put this right here like that. And this is going to be my mask. This is going to be where my moon is going to peek through as I add some color to it. Okay, so I'm going to take and I'm going to start with light colors first. So I think I'll start with Stormy Sky. This is just one of those pretty colors. So I'm going to load up onto my foam, and I always start either on an edge or in the mask and come out. I never start just kind of, you know, right in the middle. And imagine this, right? If I went like this and then try and go out, it's really difficult then to get rid of that circle and that outside line. Okay, so I always start on an outside edge or in the mask and come off. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to start here on the mask, just going to kind of hold that circle down a little bit, and then I'm going to come around. And so this is where you can kind of play. There really is no right or wrong, but you can kind of play with some of your distress colors. If you've got oxides or the distress inks, either one, you can kind of play here. Okay, so I'm going quite light along the top here, and then I'm going to take and I'm going to just go light along here. Now, you could take a scrap piece of paper and mask it off, just to make it a little easier, and then just starting on the scrap paper, just buffing down just a tiny little bit. So I've got this real light blue on the bottom. This is going to be my water, right? This is the lake part. Okay, so I'm going to take, that was Stormy Sky. I'm going to take a little weathered wood. I don't know if it's going to make much of a difference from the Stormy Sky or if it'll look similar. It's kind of got it's got a nice gray tone to it actually. That looks good. Okay, so just a little bit of that. I don't want to put too much on there. Actually, I want to add just a little bit over here on this side, just to kind of keep it light along there. All right, and then I'm going to move to Faded Jeans. And I'm going to come up here with some darker color. So where the moon is, I'm pulling away from it so that I keep a nice, crisp, sharp image all the way around there. So I can kind of add a little Faded Jeans in here. Very pretty. Okay, and then I'm going to take some Blueprint Sketch. This is a really bright blue, and I want to really pop it at the top here. I want it to really darken this top corner especially. I'm going to add just a tiny buff of it over here. It's kind of got a purpley blue tinge to it. It's very pretty. Okay, that looks great. All right, so down here on my water, now I want to mask here, and I'm going to take that same Blueprint Sketch, and I'm going to start at the bottom, and I'm going to end up covering this up, this part here. So I'm going to start there and come up with it. And I want to make sure I'm getting right to my edges because I'm not going to trim any of this side to side. It's going to go right on the card. Okay. Oops. And now I'm going to just take a little bit of the faded jeans, kind of add in a little bit. I don't want to overdo it. I don't want there to be too much color. I'm trying to leave kind of a bit of a white reflection from the moon. Okay. Ooh, super pretty. All right. So now I can take and remove my moon mask. And isn't that amazing? Doesn't that look just like a moon? That's just so beautiful. I love it. All right. So quick and easy as well. So fast. All right. So now I'm going to take this and I'm going to glue it to my card front right there like that. Okay. So put on some double-sided tape. Sorry, I'm just going to take a baby wipe. I'm scared to put my white card right here because I'm going to get ink all over it, which is something I would totally do because I am very messy. So now that's kind of wet, but I'm going to just do this over here. I think yeah, you can still see. Okay, so I'm going to just line up the top because I want the top of my card to have this edge. And then I'm going to pull it down. And line it up there. All right. So I would go back and just trim a tiny little bit of that off. Sometimes that happens. Okay. And then I'm going to take this black piece and it's going to sit down here. And I want to cover up the bottom of the grass. Gorgeous. Doesn't that look amazing? All right, so now I have cut just for you. And I'm going to use some glue and I'm going to take and place the words on, just kind of lining it up to decide where I want them to go before I put the glue on. So I think actually the just is going to kind of come up like that. And then for you. No, I think it looks better if it's just straight across. Okay. Just for you. And this glue dries clear. That's why I like it, especially on black. And now you want to put on very little glue. And this is where a glue pen would actually have come in really handy. And I didn't think to grab mine, I just had this sitting out. Just for you. Look at that. So one of my little tricks is to take a stamping block and then I just lay it on top of there. Sorry, you're going to see my head, but then I just make sure it's good and straight, and then I just leave my block on there so that it dries. Okay, so that will dry up, and then I'll come right back and finish it.